Good morning, my Teaser King family. How is everybody today? Well. So the smoke is clearing up a little bit. The other day, Thursday, it was just very smoky, very cloudy. You could smell the smoke. So you're out, you get out of your car, and you're like, "There's a barbecue going on." Yesterday, you didn't really smell much at all. It was a little bit less smoke. Today it did rain last night, so hopefully it cleaned up. I can't see much. I got a big tree in my backyard, so it kind of blocks everything. I see a little gray sky, but we'll see when we go to the pool. The pool was actually closed yesterday, which was very frustrating. I need my hot tub every day, and my that's my workout because I can run in the pool and it won't hurt my feet and my back, and it's good for it's good for the back, it's good for the feet, and it was closed. And I said, why? And they said, well, because of the air quality outside. And you're like rolling your eyes, going, yeah, I swam in it Thursday. I don't think the air quality was worse than that. So again, that should be our choice, not theirs. But anyway, so today I called and the pool is open, so I will go. I will watch the British Open. It's on now. I never heard of half these guys. One note on the Shambo penalty. It was clearly a penalty. You can't touch the area around the ball. It's like in a sand trap. There's a big rock behind your ball. You can't move it. To quote Shooter McGavin, you got to play it as it lies. So it's like if you buy a tree, you can't start breaking the branches off. So he clearly stepped on it. I think he did it on purpose. I don't know why he would do something that stupid. And then I don't know why he reacted. Golf's supposed to be a gentleman's game. Nicholas, Lee Trevino, Sevi, Nick Faldo, and then now, like with Tiger, it's like a little kid's game now. They all cry. And the Scott Scheffler, oh, he's the world number one. Yeah, he hasn't won in 2 years. He's the world number one, my ass. And then this Bryson DeChambeau, worst putting stroke I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how you make a putting as bad as he does. He doesn't get it. It's all mental. You visualize the hole and then you putt to what you're visualizing. It's very easy, but you need your hands, your hands should be like this. And then it's just like that. You don't hold it, your hands out like that. You can't, you have no feel that way. I don't know how he makes any putts. Worst putter I've ever seen in the history of my life, in the history of golf in my life. Anyway, so that's on now. Nobody shot 62 today. The problem is now he's tied for the lead, but the whole leaderboard hasn't shot yet. Soccer, we got the finals tomorrow. And believe me, if the air quality was zero, they'd still be playing because it's Sunday afternoon. Now, keep in mind, why do you think the games are on at 3:00, which doesn't make any sense for us? It's a terrible time because it's 8:00 at night in most of Europe, most of Western Europe. England's 5 hours, and I think Germany and Barcelona and Portugal, they're I think 5 or 6 hours. I know, I've been there, so that's why. So it's on at like 8, 9 o'clock at night for them, not our 3:00, which is like, what the fuck's it on at 3:00 for? So anyway, that's tomorrow. Argentina. There was no way Argentina was not getting to the finals with Messi. Talk about TV and fixing. That was the most obvious fix. So we got Messi and Argentina against Spain, whoever they are. Chichi Rodriguez, Lee Trevino. So we will see. I went to get new glasses. I have a prescription for $150. You got to get new glasses now. You have to go within 2 years and get a new prescription. So what your glasses are. So it was 150. I thought their frames were expensive there. And I was told at this one place they'd be like 275. And I went there yesterday and they were like four something. I said, four something. I was told, I came in, I was just trying to price them out. I said, what is your frames? And it's four, it's six something, but four. And I'm like, you guys on drugs? What do you mean four? I was told two, but I can't find the business card. The lady wrote down all the prices. I can't find the card. I did throw out some business cards because I had a whole stack, and I'm like, I don't need this, I don't need that. I must have thrown that out, which I'm kind of pissed at. But anyway, I can go back and say, who did I talk to? But if they're going to be 400, I mean, the place I got I saw the doctor was very expensive, but they were, I thought, 275. And I'm like, well, fuck, if they're 275, if that's what the price is. And again, I don't have insurance because I'm not working and I'm not going to pay for insurance. I'll just use gold. So I'm like, okay, I'll price it out. There's a couple stores that I had went to. To me, frames are frames. It's the lens that matters. And get something in the 250, 275, pay 200. So it's going to cost me 500. That's what I thought it would be. I don't know. They're very expensive because they charge a lot for the insurance. But the problem is they got to lower their price for people who don't use insurance. You can't charge the same price because you're basically bullying the insurance company, and they'll pay. They'll just raise rates to the people. So that's the scam of insurance. But when I come in, I want free market. No. What do you charge the guy without insurance? That should be 200, 250. So we'll see. Anyway, I know Costco, I could have got my eye appointment, but it was going to be over 200, and I was 150 for a regular eye doctor. But I don't know if I can buy the frames at Costco. There's no like Sears, and there used to be those in the mall you could get your glasses from, but good luck finding a mall, like a Lens Crafter or something. So I don't know, but I don't know why lenses are so expensive. I guess it's like I said, it's the insurance. I don't like the way the girl did this. She kind of fucked up she did this where it's supposed to be like this, right? You see the little hinge here, and the hinge broke. So she I don't know if this is tape or this might be tape, but she didn't do it right. She didn't line it up. And then when she gave it to me, it was all dirty. And I looked at her like, clean it. I've never seen an eyeglass place that doesn't give you nice, clean lenses back if they make adjustments. So anyway, we will see. But I don't like that she didn't, hey, does this look good? She was very lazy, and I didn't like her at all. And then to give me dirty glasses back and then charge me, it's for something, and for something. What are you out of your fucking mind? I told you I don't have insurance. So I have, like I said, I had a card with the lady, but I can't find it. So I can go back in and say, who did I talk to this day? And they should have had some notes in the system. Otherwise, there's a few others, or I can go back and just see what they charge for. I don't need designer Nike glass. I hate Nike anyway, but I don't need Nike glasses. I just need regular ones. It's the lenses that are the important factor. I don't care what this looks like. I got these because she says, oh, you won't like it. I said, I got them because they're blue. That's why I got these. These are blue I just wanted like blue. I thought would be a nice little change of pace. I don't care. I'm need it for the lenses. All right. Let's look at our gold. I have a. We'll go through baseball. We'll go through the new the new football. I've been studying that. So I've been studying the football. Yesterday I went through Conference USA, which I think we can make a lot of money on. And all right. So let's check our gold for yesterday. What the fuck happened? So this is now I have a video from some girl from England who says there's two prices. There's a physical and a paper, and there's no physical price. What the fuck's she talking about? So another idiot that just talks the talk but doesn't really say anything. So silver ended up at 55.90 and gold 40.17. Again, this is bullshit prices. This is due to the this is due because they're paper and people are buying oil because Trump keeps fucking with the supply of oil, making the price go up. And then he'll say, oh, the war is about to end. And then the oil drops and whatever he invests. So he's doing it to invest. It's all a Ponzi scheme. Buy this, buy that, which is total bullshit. You can't do it. That's why this whole thing, all these Ponzi schemes in the I care. This is totally illegal. All options are legal. Don't get me wrong. But when you use options the way you're using them, it's not really legal when it's sort of like insider trading. When you know what's going to happen, you can't really use insider trading. So here they're fucking around with these options and these 8 billion banks, and they're making money because they're shorting it. And then they go, okay, now let's buy it. And it's all insider, and it's all totally 100% illegal. Options in the true form might be, but I don't see any reason to have these options. Gold should be a paper option, just like everything else. There's no reason to have options. Yes, Andy Scheckman. Oh, well, if the price goes down, well, if you had physical, you wouldn't have the price going down, would you? So you're in options because you're a fucking idiot and because it's a paper market. So again, July 24th, Friday, we start no more paper. Which really what's happening is you can't do options. You can't be on COMEX. You can only do physical. So all of China and Russia and Dubai and everything will now go physical only. And so somebody sells a bar and there's a price determined. And hopefully they're not using COMEX to determine their price because then it's still a paper option. But they will be out of this COMEX Ponzi scheme, which then leaves it with what do we have? What's the physical going to be? So Friday will be interesting. If they actually just go to the physical, how are they going to determine their price? Because it sure shit ain't 4,017. and silver is certainly not 56. So how are you going to determine it? And are you going to start using it? And that's what we're waiting for. At least it's a sign that we're getting a physical market. We will see. And that's what's happening. So when we come on July 24th, next Friday, we will see what's going on. As of now, it looks there's at least a light at the end of the tunnel to get away from this bullshit Ponzi scheme paper market. But the fact people don't realize paper market, and they go, "Oh, it's going down. Why is gold going down?" When all the they don't get it, because it's all manipulated by J.P. Morgan. It's all options. This isn't a real physical price of gold. It's like banging my head into the wall. As well, gold's going down. You said it was going to go up. Yeah, this isn't physical. Physical is higher. Physical, it's probably 10,000 an ounce now. Paper is what's going down, but if you have a physical gold coin, it's worth quite a bit more than you think. So this is really the buying opportunity of a lifetime, to be able to get silver at 55 and to be able to get gold at 4,000. This is a huge buying opportunity. I've already bought and bought and bought and bought, so I'm full. I've eaten all. I've cleaned my plate. I've eaten all my dollars, and they're all in gold now. So all I can do is wait for the fun to start, which hopefully the 24th. And we know it's coming, but we don't know how it's going to be. How are they going to price it? Is COMEX going to go up to the physical price that China sets? I would imagine. So we still go into the gold store and it's going to be the new COMEX, which is the Chinese price. Or are we just going to look at the Shanghai and it's going to be $10,000? But make no mistake, gold, first of all, the value of gold is undetermined because we don't know. 4,017 is not the real price of gold. It's the paper option price of bullshit. So we don't know what it is. We assume it's at least 10 grand. It probably is more like 20 grand because the momentum's there. And keep in mind, everybody needs to get out of the monopoly money. So again, the whole thing is the Titanic sinking. And if the Titanic is sinking, you have to get out of this. These are both bankrupt. This is why these guys are fighting Russia for their oil and gold. And that's why we're fighting Iran, is for their oil and gold. Just like Hitler and the Nazis in World War II went and stole all the gold and silver from all the Czechoslovakia and Poland and Brussels and France and everywhere they could. That's what the Blitzkrieg was about, to get in and out as quick as they can because they needed the gold. That's what we're doing now. We are the Nazis. We are going into Iran to steal their oil, but it didn't work because we thought if we killed the leader, then we could replace him with a bubblehead and say, hey, we want your oil and gold, like they tried to do in Venezuela. And they did it with Gaddafi and they did it with Saddam Hussein. Only here you're fighting Iran, who you're not going to do it with because China and Russia's on their team, and you're not going to beat all three of those guys. You can't beat any of them. The U.S. really has no military. We're still fighting the old way. We're still fighting with planes and ships, but they're fighting back with all the drones and missiles. So it's more of a missile war and a drone war than it is the F-18. We're going to shoot you down, and the Navy. We destroyed their Navy. They didn't have a Navy. Fucking idiot. So anyway, that's the problem. So that's what we're doing with the wars, and it's just showing how bad we are and how weak we are, and we're basically toast. And so when people realize their dollar's not worth anything, but that'll be a while because people are morons. Basically, they don't understand. They go to the grocery store. I told you about, they go to the grocery store and everything's more expensive. Oh, why are all the prices? Oh, that's inflation. No, inflation's inflating the money supply. So yes, it is inflation that your money isn't worth anything. I saw something where they said, oh, inflation's down to 2.6%. I'm like, oh my God, you can't, there's no such thing as 2.6, 3, 4, 5% inflation. Doesn't exist. It's how many dollars you're printing, making the value of the dollar go to zero. We're at zero. There is no 2%, 3%. That might be prices after you take out the high flying price things, but that's not inflation. That's prices. That's the market. Everybody wants something, we raise the price. All I know is I go into Myers and I go into Kroger's, and all I see are all these sales. And I go into my Bush's, which is my meat store, and I owe you a hamburger, $5.99. Is it real? I hope so. Their salmon's $20. I laugh. I don't buy it. It just sits there. It's too expensive. The steaks are $20. I don't buy it. The chickens are still like $1.99, $2.99 for chicken breasts or chicken thighs. So I get those. Are they real chickens? I hope so. So I really don't, people are just duped because they don't teach them any of this shit, which is why I'm here. So again, the dollar is what's lost value, and they raise prices because the dollar isn't worth anything. So they need more dollars. The problem is people aren't about to give you more dollars because of that. They're not about to give you the dollars are worth less. So you charge more. Oh, Coke, we're going to go $3.59 for a 2-liter, and people aren't going to give it to you. Now, really, the dollar's not worth anything. So you're really getting the Coke for free, except for you do need the dollar to pay rent, your credit cards, and your utilities. They're still using the dollar. And so when prices go up, it's just because the dollar has no value because they printed the shit out of it. And the people printing the shit, your Fed chair and your Treasury secretary, they're just lying to you. That Treasury secretary said, "Oh, I went to Fort Knox and all the gold's there, and we have 8,000, and we have the most, and all the gold's there." And I'm like, "There's no way I'm believing you. You're a fucking liar. Sorry, can't believe you. Show me the gold's there." The gold might be there, but it's China's now. So all he said, "Oh, the gold's there." Well, yeah, it's China's because we sold it to them. And is it there? Who knows? Show us. You have to show us. We don't just believe you. And we don't believe you went there, and we don't believe, you wouldn't have showed it. But then you still have to prove it's U.S. gold and not Chinese gold. All right, enough fun with that. Let's go to our baseball. I'm going to give you the same free pick I gave yesterday because I gave you Pittsburgh over. And Pittsburgh over didn't happen. It got postponed because of this fire smoky thing from Canada. So we'll go right back with it. So we go Pitt over 7, 2 units. Same pitchers, Jones against Gus Williams. So we're fine with that. We liked it yesterday. Why wouldn't we like it today? Okay. So let's look at yesterday's scores, and then we'll get to today. Boston beats Tampa 10-0. Boston is now on an 11-game winning streak, so I'm going to give you Boston as a free play. The only other one is Oakland's on a 5 or 6 game losing streak or something, or 10-game losing streak. Oakland, yeah, I think they're on a 10-game losing streak. So we'll go against Oakland, but those streaks haven't been working, but it looks like Boston will ride it. They're red hot, so let's go with it. The Dodgers beat the Yankees 2-1. We don't play the game. I certainly wouldn't have expected an under. Total was 9, but I laid away from it. It made sense because we had Garrett Cole going, so he pitched good. They get more motivated when they play the Dodgers, right? The Yankee-Dodger rivalry still there. So they definitely Cole pitched good, and he gave up two runs. Yankees just don't have the hitting, too many guys injured. Boston wins the second game 5-3, so they've now won 11 in a row. I didn't play the second game. I just played the first game, Tampa under 8. Didn't see all the runs. White Sox 12, Toronto 4. We don't play them. K wins. He's been pretty good. Toronto, again, it was bullpen day, and you just don't hear Toronto gave up 12 runs. Atlanta 15, Texas 1. We do have Atlanta. That was a 3-unit play with Chris Sale going 15-1. You never know what's going to happen after the All-Star break, right? Because they get about 5 days off, right? Some guys didn't play Sunday. Let's say they played Sunday. All right, they didn't play till Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So they had 4 days off. And you're just going to get guys are rested, maybe a little injured, whatever. And I still see Mizorowski not playing is kind of a red flag, like, okay, you're giving him a little bit more time. All right. Is everything okay? So we hit Atlanta. Boom. Milwaukee 2, Miami 1. We don't play. Milwaukee had Henderson, Miami. I don't know who was pitching. So Milwaukee, they're a very good team. Milwaukee 2-1. Minnesota 5, the Cubbies 2, and we don't play this game again. Bullpen day. We had a lot of bullpen days yesterday, and a lot of new pitchers who started off the All-Star break. Minnesota beats the Cubbies 5-2. No play. Baltimore 3, Houston 2. We don't have anything there. Oh, we played Houston under 10 and 3-2. This was the one where it was 10. And I said, this is an awfully high total. And the pitchers were deep. They were like 3.0 pitchers. I said, there's no way this is getting to 10. And I was right. And again, this is purely bet on the line. So Baltimore wins 3-2. We don't care. It's Houston under 10, which we do care about. KC 7, San Diego 6. Again, a bullpen day. Or no, it was Seth Lugo, who he's terrible now, and San Diego. So 7-6, we don't play it. Cincinnati 7, Colorado 2. We did play Colorado because it was Brady Singer, who was 1-9 his last 10. And in Colorado at home, and then 7-2. Colorado, who knows? So we lose that one. We do play Detroit with that one guy, Milton, pitching. He's got a low ERA. We didn't know what California would do. Detroit wins 2-1, so we get a winner there. Again, neither team's got hitting. I did Sunday's lineups to get the new good hitter, bad hitter on my stats sheet, and neither team has more than 3 hitters. So we get a 2-1 game. So we do win with Detroit. Washington 23, Oakland 4, and didn't play this one. Didn't see this coming. Oakland, what was wrong with that pitcher? 23. Oakland's now lost, I believe, 10 in a row. So we will probably be playing Washington today. Really betting against Oakland. St. Louis 5, Arizona 4. We have the game under 9.5, and it wins. It actually went up to 10.5. St. Louis 5, Arizona 4. Again, you don't have a lot of hitting, and you got some pretty good pitching. Although St. Louis has that right fielder who was an all-star, who get a home run off of Mizorowski. So they got one good hitter, St. Louis. The 49ers 7, Seattle nothing. We do play Seattle. They had their ace going, and he sucked. And Frisco gets 7 runs, which is crazy. And that was it. So we end up going 5-3 and a +5 units. So happy days yesterday. And let's see if we can do it today. So we start off Pitt, Cleveland. This was your free play yesterday, so it will stay your free play. Same pitchers, Jones and Williams. So we're going to go Pitt over 7. It went from 7.5 to 7. Thank you. And your second free play will be Boston because they've won 11 in a row against Tampa. I don't care who's pitching. It doesn't matter. You just bet the team. Minnesota at the Cubbies. Ty Bradley. The Cubbies 137, 8.5. Ty Bradley 362 against Matt Boyd 450. Let's look at the pitchers. Ty Bradley. He's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. And some overs, some unders. His last 6 gave up 4 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 1 run, 2 runs. So he's been pitching very well. Matthew Boyd used to be on the Tigers. He sucked there. And he's won his last 5. Well, what do? We got 5 against 5. We're getting fucked here. 4 innings, 5 runs, 2 runs, 0, 3, 0, and 4. So we got 2 hot pitchers that have won. So I'm neutralized. I was going to bet Minnesota, but Boyd's hot. The game's in the Cubbies. The spread's 8.5, so we don't know about the wind. I assume it's not too bad. The Cubbies are 54-43, Minnesota 49-49. So I don't know if that helps us or not. So we will see. Anyway, I'm going to have to pass. I was going to take Bradley, but I would take either one. But when they're both winning, who do you take? And I don't know about over or under in this. The White Sox go to Toronto. Toronto 108, 9.5. We got Dean Martin for the White Sox, 342, against Sean Bieber, 794. Surprised Dean wasn't in the All-Star game. He's been pitching well. He's 1-4 his last 5. He's last 6 games shutout 9, 1, 0, 2, and a 5. So the 9 was against the Yankees, and then he lost to Boston. He gave up 5. So Boston seems to be the flavor of the month right now. Dean win some, lose some. Let's see if we go against Shane Bieber. The Shaner, he's been out. He came back June 23rd. He's 1-3. 2 overs, 2 unders. That's the problem. You get some overs, some unders. Very rarely you get a guy with 5 overs or 5 unders. His 4 games, it's 3 innings, 5 innings, 4 innings, 4 innings, 4-2, 7-2. So he's been giving up runs. So has Dean. I don't know. It's a toughie. We will see. Cincinnati at Colorado. Cincinnati 107, 12.5. This was like a 20-run game yesterday. Lauder against Sugano. Sugano sucks. Rhett Lauder. He's lost 1, 2, 3, 4. He's 1-5 his last 6. The last 3 have been overs. 5 innings, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 2. And 4 runs, 3 runs, 6 runs. And then in the 2 innings, the 0-1-0, but they've only been 2 innings. His real ERA is 4.91. So this guy blows. And then Sugano, I got something on this Sugar Man. Sugano, I have bad high ERA, and he's 1-6 his last 7. He's one of the Fuji guys from Japan. Like anybody from Japan we'll take because we don't have any pitchers in America. 4-1 his last 5. And 2, 4, 5, 6. So he's pitched 4 and 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, 8, 1, and 7. All right. So we got two pigs on the mound. The Mets and Philly. We got Philly 169, 8.5. Manea against Luzardio. Jesus. We've been winning with Jesus. How do you lose with Jesus on the mound, right? He's 4-1 his last five, Manea. His last six gave up 2 runs, 3, 4, 2, 6, 3. So he's pretty bad, especially against Philadelphia. They're going to be in trouble. Jesus is, Jesus. He's won his last 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 9-0. And he gave up 5 runs twice and then a bunch of ones and zeros. Okay, Philadelphia. And we'll go 3 units because, I mean, if you're going to bet on Jesus, you can't go 2 units. All right. So Pitt over, Boston on the 11-12 game win streak, and we'll take Philly because Jesus is going. So that's 3 free plays. Happy July 4th. See, that's where you got Jesus pitching well, 10-1 his last 11, and Manea pitches terrible. So it's a perfect good against bad. Baltimore at Houston. Houston 106-9. Rogers 4-5-0 against Spaghetti 4-5-0. Looks like an over. We played it under, and it was way under yesterday. Trevor Rogers. He's won his last 4. All 4 have been under. In his last 6, he's given up 3 runs, 2, 0, 1, 0, 1. So Trevor, how are you going to get to 9 with this guy pitching under games? Spaghetti for Houston. This guy was good, not anymore. He had won 5 in a row. Now he's lost 5 in a row. See, that's why we look at the streaks. He was good, and then he lost it, and they're getting killed. His last 6, 3 runs, 4 runs, 6, 8, 1, and 8. So whatever he had, he's tired. He lost it. Okay, so here's another one. Oh, that's right. We had Jack Lambert going yesterday, and Jack had a good game and kept us under 10 in that game. Tampa Bay at Boston. We already took Boston. Seymour 504 for Tampa, and Boston Sandoval 225. And what blows my mind is Tampa's a 106 favorite with Seymour with the 504. Sandoval, I wonder if he's a bullpen guy. Although you wouldn't expect that this early. Oh, he's only pitched 1 game. He won 2-1 on July 9th, so he's been hurt. 4 innings, gave up 1 run, and he pitched 65 pitches. Still, Boston's at home on 11-12 game winning streak. Why are they the dog here? Jesus. Against Seymour with a 504. So we're on Boston. We're going to play the streak. St. Louis at Arizona. Arizona 116, 8.5. We got May 4.55 against Fat 3.94. Fat sucked last year. Dustin May 6'6", big fella, a Goliath. He's 4-2 his last 6, but he lost his last 2. And let's see, his last 6 innings shutout, 9 innings shutout, 2 innings, 6 runs, 2/3 of an inning, 5 runs, 4 innings shutout. What the fuck happened here? The 2 games he pitched against KC and Atlanta, and they still won the game 12-2 and 12-10 and 11-5. Then he lost to Milwaukee and Atlanta 4-3. 4 innings shutout, 4 innings 2. So what a strange thing when he gives up 6 runs and 5 and they still win. He shuts you out and he loses. Dustin May and Brandon Pfaadt, PFAADT from Kentucky. Yeah, okay. that explains a lot. He went to Bellarmine School. Was that high school or what? Maybe it is. I never heard of it as a college. He's won 3, lost 2, won 3. So he's 6-2 his last 8. He over some unders. He's been bullpenning until the last 3 games. Bullpen. Last 3, it's 5 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, no runs, 5 innings, 2 runs. So he's been pitching pretty well his last 5. He's 4.70 ERA this year, 5.25 last year, 4.7, 5.25. So he's not really a good pitcher. He's a 5 ERA pitcher. Goes against May. This probably goes over 8.5, I would think. I don't know where they're getting 3.94 ERA. This guy's a 5. San Diego KC. We got San Diego 105 and 11. Another one of these huge things. We got Canning with the 6.65 ERA against Dobnik. Never heard of for KC. Sounds like a bullpenner. Why is KC using all these bullpen? Well, they use Seth Lugo, who's absolutely terrible. Canning's lost his last 3. All 3 have been unders, and he went 4 innings. His last 6 gave up 7, 1. 2/3 of an inning gives up 4, and then it's 2-1-2 only on 4 inning stitch. Pitching about 75 pitches. So he's basically sucks. Randy Dobnik. And he's pitched 2 games, lost 5-2, 6-2. So both were under, both were losses. 4 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 0. So he hasn't pitched bad. He's been mostly a reliever. 2024, 5.59, 2021, 7.64. This guy got injured. Didn't do anything in 2025 and just coming back 2026. So we don't have enough info on the Dobniker. So I have no idea where you get the 11 from. Texas and Atlanta. Atlanta 110 and 9. We got Mackenzie Gore 4.63 against O. Murphy, another newcomer. I thought, this 100 pitch count in every 5 days was supposed to prevent the guys from getting injured, and yet they're all getting injured anyway. Maybe it's because they're trying to make the guy throw too hard. And the funny part, the St. Louis hitter hit 2 home runs off of Mizorowski, and it doesn't matter how fast you throw the ball. They will adjust to it. These are major league hitters. The minor league hitters won't. Like most of the taggers would probably just strike out. But the major league hitters will hit them. So it's not about how fast you can throw. It's about changing speeds, changing locations, about pitching inside, outside, up and down. That's the pitcher, not, he throws 105 right down the middle and the guy hits 2 home runs off of him. Mackenzie Gore, win some, lose some. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 overs in a row. And in the last 6, gave up 4 runs, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 1. So this smells like an over. And then we've got Owen Murphy from Chicago. Riverside Brookville, I assume that's the high school. That's why you never take high school guys, because they're pitching against high schoolers and you have no idea. He's pitched 2 games, and they lost both. And he gave up 1 inning, 2 hits, and 3 innings, no hits. So this guy, we have no idea. And this is his first year. So we've got Mackenzie Gore, who Mr. Over. So we want to go over, but who the hell is O. Murphy in the bullpen? Again, we don't know. So bye-bye. Miami, Milwaukee. Now, why is Mizorowski not pitching yet? He didn't play in the All-Star game. Is he hurt? They're giving him rest, but why? So they're giving him a long rest. So maybe he'll pitch next week. But right now, we have a very interesting matchup. Milwaukee 140 and 8, and we got Mike Myers from Miami, who's got the 258, who's their ace, who we like to bet on. So it's Max Meyer, and he's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8-2 his last 10, and his last 6 have been 2 runs, 1, 2, 0, 5, and 2. 5 was against Colorado. So he's the ace. Shane Dronin. Now, Milwaukee's 140-8. Right now, we're leaning towards taking Miami. We'll see about the total. Shane Dronin, Florida Stater, Bobby Bowden guy. He's 3-3 his last 6. A few overs and unders. His last 6 games, 4 runs, 1 run, shutout, 2, 3, and 3. All right. Now, if it was Myers Mizorowski or Myers Zach Wheeler or Myers and what's the other guy? Harrison, this is an under at 8. This is a lock under at 8. But Dronin, sorry. There's another Pitt Cleveland game. The Steelers and the Browns. We got Pitt 109-8. Lane 7 in football terms. Ashcraft 3-5-0 against Lucius Allen with the 0. We don't normally like to bet the second game of the doubleheader. We don't know what's going on in the first game. We've got, where's his game logs? All right. Wow. Ashcraft's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8-2 his last 10. A lot of overs, 9-1 overs. So we were betting Pittsburgh or the over, and you know how I like the over with Pittsburgh. Gave up 2 runs, 2 runs, 1, 5, 1, and 5. So it's all up to Lucius Allen. He used to play for the Milwaukee Bucks. He was on the team with Kareem won. Let's see. He's pitched in 1 game. They lost 10-2, 4 innings. He gave up 2 runs. He has pitched the last 4 years with Cleveland as a starter, 3.81, 5.73, 4.25. So he pitched 1 game, didn't go long. All right. This guy, did he win up? All right. The Dodgers and the Yankees. Problem is the Yankees with so many of the injuries. The Yankees are actually favored 109, total of 9. Ed Sheehan 4.83 against Carl Weathers 4.18. Apollo, you didn't know he could pitch, did you? Sheehan is 1-7. No, 1-6. So he basically blows. Last 6, 1 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 3 runs, 6, then 1-1, and then 3. But those have been like 4 innings pitched. So he's been losing a lot. Carl Weathers from Tennessee. And he's 2, 2, 4, 6. He's 2-6 his last 8. So Carl's not been pitching well. 4 innings, 6 runs, then 1, then 2, then 5, then 4, then 1. 6, 1, 2, 5, 4, 1. So he's a pig. You can't bet Sheehan. The 49ers against the Seahawks. This is the Richard Sherman game. Seahawks 148-7. Logan Webb for the Niners 3.87 against Ric Flair. Brian Wu 4.24. He stinks this year. Logan Webb, my notes. He's got 5 unders in a row. So let's see if that hits. Ric Flair, I don't know, 4.24 ERA. Let's see what Logan's done. Well, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unders in a row. Now it's 2 overs, so forget that. He's 2 and 3 his last 5. Forget that. And his last 6, he's gone 8 innings 3 times and 2 sevens and 1 3. So he's gone 1 run, 2, 0, a 3-run 7 innings against Colorado, and then 7 innings and 5 runs against Toronto, where he got killed the last 2, 15-3 and 10-0. So do we bet Ric Flair here, or do we bet the over? Ric Flair. Rick's from Oakland. Went to Cal Poly. There you go. He's wooing. He's 75-time ex-champion, we know. That means he lost the belt 76 times. I love when he says it's 17 times champion, which means you lost 18 times. Let's see. Not much. Win some, lose some. 5 out of the last 6 have been over. And you can see his high ERA. His last 6 gave up 5, 7 innings shutout, then 5, 2, 4. So Rick's not been good. Logan Webb, I think I gotta look at it again. I forgot. His last 2 have been high. So he was 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, and then 7-5. All right. Now here's where I think the 7 is too low. I don't. You got Webb giving up 15 runs the last 2 games, and Ric Flair giving up a bunch. 4.24 ERA. This isn't like Ric Flair with the 1.5 ERA and Webb with the 2.0 ERA. This is 3.87 against 4.24, and 3.87 is gone. I mean, it's like 7. So again, a 7-run total seems awfully low for these two. Washington and Oakland, we got Washington 108-11. Zach Littell 6-11 against Ginn 3.56, and against Oakland's lost their last 10 games. So I think you just bet the streak, even though it's Littell. And this is why you just bet the streak blindfold. You can't really look at it and say who's pitching and then, oh, I'm not going to bet it. It's just they've lost 10 in a row. This guy is 1-5, so Zach Little is not very good. His last 6, 1 2/3, 5 runs, 5 innings, 4 runs, 4 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 2 runs, 1-1. He's had some decent games, so his ERA 6.11 is really skewed by I don't know. He must have had some really bad outings because his last 10, it's been 2 runs, 1, 2 runs, 1, a 5 and a 4, 2-2, 1-1. So he's more like a 2 or 3 ERA. Okay, so I likes this game. And GT Jin Rummy player, almost had the no-hitter. Nothing there. Last 6, 1 run, 4, 3, 1, 2, and 8. So he's all over the place. So again, just bet against Oakland. Detroit and California. We got Detroit 188-8. Skubal with the 3.12 ERA. It's not that good. More like a 4. And now remember, it used to be a 1. So that means he's pitching like a pig his last 5 or 6 games. And he only goes 5 innings, and then he cries and comes out of the game. Against G. Rodriguez with the 7.55. So I looked, it was like 2-1 yesterday. Reamers or whatever for California against this guy, Milton Bradley, I guess. So 188 seems high for Detroit, and then an 8 ERA Let's see. Now Detroit can't hit. Neither team. They have 3 hitters. That's it. Let's see. Scooble. He's 3-4 his last 7. Well, let's go to June 13th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 3-3 his last 6, mostly unders. And his last 6 have been 3 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, 2, 1, and 2. And it's 5 innings, baby. And it's 80 pitches. Guy's a big fucking baby. G. Rodriguez, Grayson Rodriguez from Houston. Is this guy any good? He's pitched 3, 6, 7 games, and he's 3-4. Some unders, some overs. We'll go through all 7 of his. 7 runs, 4 runs, 1, 8, 3, 2, and 3. So he will give up runs. Scooble you get for 5 innings. California really can't hit. Neither can hit. It's a hard over to go to. I'm going to pass on this. I don't trust Scooble. My guess would be an under because I don't know if they're going to hit this Rodriguez guy. He is a righty, so the Tigers have a better left-handed lineup. You get Scooble for 5 innings, but he hasn't been pitching well. I think he's still injured. He's just there for the money, so I don't see anybody trading for him because who'd want him? And if he's $40 million a year, I can spend $40 million on Mizorowski or Scanes before I Meyer, the guy on Cincinnati just signed a contract. So I'm not buying that I want Scooble, and I'm certainly not buying. He's already in his 30s. He's obviously still injured. He won the Cy Young because there's nobody else there. I mean, let's face it. He didn't beat Alex Gaines. He didn't beat Mizorowski. He's not in their class. It's like the Red Wings with this center that doesn't want to play. I tell him, grab an apron and there's jobs open at the grocery store. Go work at Kroger's. I would not trade. It's like a girlfriend, all right, who says, I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't want to see you anymore. You know what I say? Goodbye. I don't trade her. You just find another girlfriend. I just, if you don't want to play for the Wings, you don't want to play professional hockey, you have a contract, and you say, I don't want to play for you anymore, I tell them to fuck off. I'm not going to trade you. This is too hard of a market. First of all, everybody's ragging on Yzerman and he gets fired. Well, the first thing is, who's he going to trade? You got a second-rate center. He's not a first-team center, apparently, from what these idiots on the radio say, which means he's a second-rate center. So what are you going to get for him? A second-rate center. He's not very good. They haven't made the playoffs where the whole league makes the playoffs. I'm not going to give him away for nothing. And if you don't want to play here, what do you think the other teams are doing? They're going, well, maybe he won't want to play here either. And he's really not good. I can't really trade him. So what am I going to do with him? And so I just leave him alone, basically. There's no way I'm going to play him. I'm not going to trade him. I just assume he sits out. I wouldn't let him in my locker room. You don't want to play here? You can sit, and I would just not play him. What's the difference? We suck anyway. We can't make the playoffs when the whole league makes the playoffs. What, 3 or 4 teams don't make the playoffs? So basically, I'm not going to play the guy. I'm not going to trade him. And if he thinks he's going to say, well, you can only trade me to these teams, I tell him to fuck off. So I agree with Yzerman. And there's not a lot of talent in hockey now anyway. There's no Bobby Orr. There's no Bobby Hull. There's no Gordie Howe out there. There's no Lemieux. There's no Pavel Bure. Who are you trading him for? The league sucks. There's very little talent in the league. And so what am I going to trade him for? And he's not that good anyway. He's overpaid, if anything. You're leading us and we can't even make the playoffs and you're the captain. So I would just let him, I'd tell him go to Kroger's. And I wouldn't play the guy, and I wouldn't trade him. I would just say, fuck off. You don't want to play here, so how's your typing? How's your IT skills? Can you be AI? That's basically where I'd be with this guy. You're not on the team. Sorry, we don't. I paid you your salary. If you're not going to show up, then you don't get your salary. And see how it is to go to Kroger's and make $10 an hour versus how many million you make for us, and you don't want that. Who doesn't want that? So I don't know, but it's if a girl says I don't want to date you anymore, you say fine, and you don't date her, and but it's not like you do what she wants. All right, you don't want to talk to me, then don't talk to me. I'll find some other girls. I mean, it's insanity. So you don't want to play here. You're Mr. Independent. Fine. We're not going to pay you, and you're not a free agent. You're under our contract. Go fuck off. I would not play the guy because he doesn't want to be there. Pure and simple. You don't want to be there. You're not. I'm not paying you. I'm not playing you, and I'm not paying you. You void the contract. And I don't know if that means he's a free agent or we got him under contract. We're not paying him. But I'm not trading you unless I get fair value for you. So here's our other Mantle card, the Bomber card, Maris, Cash, Mantle, and K-Line. So let's say this is worth $10,000 because it's a pretty nice, might be a little off center, left to right, but in the 1960s, I don't think that matters. Very nice pitcher. Very nice back, very sharp. There doesn't seem to be. Oh yeah, there is a thing on the bottom. All right, so it's pretty well centered, pretty nice card. I'm not giving this away for Joe Smith. No. I want another Mantle card that's equal in value. If this is worth 10 grand, I'm going to trade it for a card worth 10 grand. So that's the point. You're only trading this idiot if you can get equal value. I wouldn't let him back in the locker room because he's going to be a cancer and tell other people to leave. And I don't know how the other people think about him. Obviously, he's a loser. You signed a contract. You got to honor the contract. If you wanted to not play there, you shouldn't have signed the contract. Sorry, that's the way it works. I mean, that's the thing. You don't sign a contract with your girlfriend and you can walk away anytime. But when you're signing contracts, you are there for whatever, 5 years on your contract. If you didn't want to play, you shouldn't have signed the contract. But once you sign it, you give your word, you can't go back on it. Well, I don't want to play. You don't want to win. Well, dude, it's because you suck that we're not winning, because you're a second team center and we can't make the playoffs in hockey when everybody makes the playoffs. Yeah, you're the problem. And I didn't like everybody blaming Yzerman. Yzerman, he won the titles at Tampa Bay, so don't tell me he can't do that. It's like taking Chuck Noll, and he wins 4 Super Bowls at Pittsburgh. Then he goes to Detroit and he doesn't win, and you're blaming Chuck Noll, and you're like, well, he did win 4 Super Bowls. What are you talking about? They did a hell of a job with drafting and everything. All right, so that's your baseball. So I gave you 3 plays. Pitt over 7 because I gave it to you yesterday. 2 units. Boston on their 11-game winning streak. 2 units. And Philadelphia, Jesus is pitching. 3 units on that. I do have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games. I was going to play the Yankees over 9, and I'm passing on it because they just don't hit. So it's a play that I'm betting on, but I'm just saying I think that's a good play, but I don't have enough there. So we're not going over 9, but we thought about it. And that's it. So we do have streaks. We're betting against the fucking A's, and we're betting on Boston on their streaks. All right. Now I reviewed Conference USA yesterday, and I started reviewing the MAC today, and it's very helpful to figure out the A teams, the Z teams, the good quarterbacks, the bad, the good coaches, the bad. So I'm going to go through Gray Sports Almanac first, then I'll get into the actual spreadsheet, and then I'll come back to the thoughts on Gray Sports Almanac, like I did the last couple of days. So we went through the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC, the AAC yesterday with somebody. Who did we go through that with? I don't remember. Who? I know we did the AAC and the Big 12, I think. I know we've done the Big 12. Yeah, let's say Big 10, SEC, Big 12, ACC. We did the Pac-8 with the AAC. So the Army, Navy with the new Pac-8, which Boise and San Diego State, Utah State have went to out of the Mountain West into that, and then there's new Mountain West teams. So today, Conference USA, which is a good one to go through because nobody knows these teams, and there's always A's and Z's that we want to bet against the Z team. So that's why you look at all the conferences, and that's why I make a lot of bets, because there's 10 conferences. There's 10 Z teams at least, if not 20 Z teams in these conferences, as well as A teams in the conference. For example, the A team here is Liberty. Well, we're not going to bet Liberty against Notre Dame, but we will bet Liberty against Sam Houston. And so once the conference play is, we found our bitches, who's our Z teams, who's our A, and that's why you see these funny locks. When I did it last year. I don't remember who. I think it might have been North Texas against the Z team in the conference, and North Texas won by 50 points. And then we did it again 2 or 3 times. We took these good teams against the Z team, and we won 3 locks. I mean, so that's really what it is. You're looking at the Z team, you're looking at the over, and you're looking at the under. The teams with the good defense, San Diego State, the good offenses, Boise. There's a couple others. And then we're still got to get to the Mountain West because we want to see Vegas and Nevada and those teams. So that'll be tomorrow. The Mountain West with probably the MAC and then we'll leave the Sun Belt. So we got the Sun Belt, the MAC. Oh no, we're going to do the MAC today. So we'll do Mountain West with the Sun Belt tomorrow. But I always liked the Mountain West. I made so much money when it used to be TCU, Utah, and BYU used to be the Mountain West. Then they all went to the Southwest Conference. Then it turned into the Big 12. And they just played very well. Utah, always strong defense. TCU, oh, God, they were great all those years. And unfortunately, they're not there this year. All right, let's look at the Conference USA. Who the fuck is in Conference USA? Well, going 1 through 10, there's 10 teams. We start with Liberty, Western Kentucky. This is how Gray Sports Almanac lists the top 10. So in order, Liberty being the best, Sam Houston being the worst. So Liberty 1, Western Kentucky 2, Kennesaw State 3, Jacksonville State 4, Delaware, Florida International, Missouri State, Middle Tennessee State, New Mexico State, and Sam Houston is apparently the Z team here. Liberty Chadwell is back on the sideline after surgery for medical issue. I don't know who that is. I don't know. I don't know if he's the coach or he's the quarterback. Western Kentucky, portal gains help make up for key transfers. Kennesaw State quarterback Odom left for Syracuse, but Orange Ricky Collins opted in. Well, Ricky Collins stinks. Jacksonville State Creole gives the Gamecocks a productive dual threat quarterback. Delaware. Now this is the best quarterback, Nick Minucci. This is an over team, Delaware. They stole the Michigan look, but see, here's a good quarterback. So he'll be good in conference. They are an over team, and we look for other Z teams to bet them. Florida International, the arrival of quarterback J.J. Cole make up for the loss of transfer quarterback. So you got all these quarterbacks coming back and forth. Now this guy is 6'5", 260-pound quarterback. I don't know, decent. He started at Iowa State, couldn't get on the field, then went somebody else, and now here he is at Florida International. God only we have to watch him a few games. Missouri State new coach Casey Woods knows what to do with 10 touchdown reception leader Jamal Robinson. He must not be too good, or he not be at Missouri State anymore. A new coach, so we'll have to see. Middle Tennessee State quarterback Roman Gagliano earned key playing time after somebody got injured. This guy sucks. New Mexico State linebacker. You start talking linebackers, you're in trouble. Return to anchor the defense. So New Mexico State might have a good defense, no offense. So it could be an under team. And then the worst is Sam Houston. They spell Bearcats wrong. Bear K-A-T-S instead of C-A-T-S. Got their home field back. That's the best they can say about them. They stink. They were good, and then their coach went to Temple. So now Temple's getting better, and Sam Houston sucks. And that's really what you're looking at. All right, let's go to my chart. For Conference USA. And here we go. So Jacksonville State, 29 points for, 26 against. Caden Creel, 8-4 is the quarterback. They ran for 258. I got him as an E team because the quarterbacks, it's a new quarterback. So I don't think they'll be an over team. I had them as an over team. They scored 29. So we'll see. Same coach. Western Kentucky, 29, gave up 23. Rodney Tisdale, 9 touchdowns, 6 picks. Again, we'll have to see. Western Kentucky is usually pretty good. Delaware, I got him as an over. Scored 30 a game, gave up 32. Nick Minucci, I told you, the quarterback, 22 touches and 7 picks. Threw for 292 a game and 116 running. So mostly a passing team and should be an over team. Florida International, 29 a game, gave up 27. Cole from App State and Iowa State, no stats on him. He's big, 6'5", 250. We'll see. I doubt they'll give you 30 a game, and that's why we'll have to see what they are. Kennesaw State, a B team, scores 28, gives up 24. Collins, the quarterback from Syracuse, who sucks because he couldn't start at Syracuse. So he can't be too good, but it's Kennesaw State. Liberty, they're the A team here, 25 for, 25 against. Purdy from Wake Forest will be their new quarterback. We will see. Old Missouri State, E team, 25 for, 28 against. Locklear, who's from UTEP, will be the new quarterback. UTEP, an E team, scores 23, gives up 30. Colson's the new quarterback, no stats. So you got 5 new quarterbacks in the league. So you really have, it's like the pitchers, right? The pitcher comes in, you have no idea. Here, Purdy from Wake Forest, maybe. Middle Tennessee, I got him as a W team, scored 22, give up 30. Roman Gagliano, 7 touchdowns and no interceptions. We'll have to keep an eye on him. New Mexico State, a W, scored 21, give up 27. Adam DeMonte, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. And the Z team, Sam Houston, scores 17, gives up 38. Landon Locke, the quarterback, 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. So what we see here, really no big offensive team. 29 led the league last year. Jacksonville State, Western Kentucky, and Delaware, and Florida International scored 29. Kennesaw State 28. No real strong defensive team. The best is 23 by Western Kentucky. But then when we look at the defense, Missouri State gave up 28, and then UTEP 30, Middle Tennessee 30, New Mexico State 28, and Sam Houston 37. So the idea is to bet Jacksonville State against Sam Houston, against New Mexico State, against Middle Tennessee. And so we got to fill in the blanks as we go. So there's a lot of, with the new quarterback, there's only one new coach, which is on Missouri State, Woods, who was the offensive coordinator at SMU. So you would expect Missouri State to be an over team, but how quickly is that going to happen? And no other new coaches. A lot of them have been there 1 year and did nothing. So Conference USA is a very strange, weak conference. Best quarterback, Minucci, and then Tisdale from Western Kentucky, who I was not impressed with. Liberty, overview, Jamie Chadwell's roster. So Chadwell is the coach, has a ton of new additions, and for the first time in 4 years at Liberty, had major staff changes, road games at James Madison. So they open at James Madison. Now Liberty is, I guess, the best team here. They were 25-26 last year, so the best, but not very good. New quarterback, Deshaun Purdy. He is a Wake Forest transfer. So Wake Forest, not too bad, but we'll see. They open with James Madison. That's going to be a loss probably. Gardner Webb, Division II, Ball State, Coastal Carolina. Then at Delaware, Sam Houston, Kennesaw State, So we'll see. They were 4-8 last year. One of the 4 was beating Maine. So I don't know. This is not a strong A team, so we'll have to play it by ear here. We don't really have a strong thing. Western Kentucky, Helton has long embraced finding talent from the portal to replenish the roster. The Hilltopper team has enough intriguing pieces to be in the contention to win this Conference USA. Matson is 53-38 in 7 years, the head coach. Tisdale is a sophomore, played there last year. They open at Nevada, then they go at Georgia, at Indiana. So lock, they'll get killed. They're not a good team. They scored 29, give up 22. They played, let's see, they lost to Toledo last year. At LSU, they lost 13-10. I don't know what happened there. So a bunch of in-conference. Toledo beat them 45-21. Kennesaw State, they got Ricky Collins. Jerry Max, the coach, has been there 1 year. Ricky's transit. All right, so Ricky Collins. Who's Ricky Collins from Kennesaw State? Oh, he's from Syracuse. So maybe he's decent. They open with West Georgia. I didn't know there was an East and a West Georgia. Then Georgia State. Then at Tennessee. Good luck there, boys. And then Arkansas State. And then in conference. Last year, they lost to Indiana 56-9. Let's see these others. Liberty, did they play? They lost 31-13 to James Madison. They didn't play anybody like Indiana, and neither Western Kentucky, the LSU game. So Kennesaw State lost 56-9 to Indiana, plays Tennessee. It's hard to get into these games because they're so weak. Jacksonville State, Charles Kelly has coached 1 year. Dual threat quarterback. Creed returns to lead Jacksonville's offense. He's a junior Creole. 8 touchdowns, 4 picks. They open at North Dakota State, who's now Division 1. Eastern Kentucky, at Ohio, Georgia Southern. Meaningless. Last year, they didn't play anybody. They gave up a lot of points, that's for sure. 26 a game. Well, they lost 17-10 to UCF. All right. Delaware, good quarterback. The coach, Ryan Carty, is 33-17 in 4 years. They open with Merrimack and then Vanderbilt. We'll see Vanderbilt and Virginia. The Blue Hens, very, very competitive in their first season at FBS level, finishing 4-4 in the conference, defeating Lou Lafayette in the bowl game. Who cares? They had an offense that should give them the opportunity to repeat the performance. So they should score in the conference, but not necessarily out of it. Last year, they lost to Colorado 31-7. Beat Connecticut, who had a pretty good team. And that's it. So again, it's hard to really look at the schedule like we look at the other conferences. Florida International, Willie Simmons, 7-6 his first year, 52-19 and 7. So he's a pretty good coach. Assuming Cole lives up to expectations, he's the quarterback and stays healthy. There's good reason to see the Panthers back in a bowl. The defense should be much improved after ranking next to last in the conference last season. I don't know after that. So J.J. Cole is 6'7", 250. Was at Iowa State and Appalachian State. At Appalachian State, he didn't do anything because I don't have any stats on this guy. So basically, he's a junior, hasn't played. They opened at South Florida, Buffalo, Long Island Iced Tea, and then in the conference last year, they lost to Penn State 34-0, and Connecticut 51-10, and that was it. UTSA beat them 57-20. So at South Florida, they're going to get spanked, and that's it. So not much. 27 defense. A lot of 30, 40-point games they gave up. Missouri State, the Bears. Woods takes over trying to build on last season's momentum, but it won't be easy. Placing Clark, who found himself in an NFL camp as an undrafted free. I don't know what he's talking about. Woods is a coach in his first year. Okay, he's the offensive coordinator from SMU, so they'll be offensive oriented. They played SC the first game last year, 73-13. I had that as a lock over because I thought Missouri State could actually score a little, but no defense. They did beat Marshall 21-20, who really sucked last year. Lost to SMU 28-10. This year they open at A&M. They'll get blown out there. Marshall and at SMU, which this guy used to coach at. So we'll see about that game. And they're pretty Missouri State gives up 28. So they're definitely an over team, just like So them in Delaware, it'll be an over bet. Middle Tennessee State, Roman Gagliano, who I have 7 touchdowns and no picks. Coach Derek Mason, I've heard of him. 6-18, 2 years, 33-70. This guy stinks as a coach. 22 a game, give up 30. Mason was encouraged by how his Blue Raiders finished their 3-9 season with wins against Sam Houston, who was a Z team, and New Mexico State a Z team. The competitor lost that, but they lose so much on both sides of the ball. So this is a very bad team. Middle Tennessee. I got them as a W, but probably a Z, a 30 defense. They open up with Murray State, Marshall, Nevada, and conference. They lost to Wisconsin 42-10. They beat Nevada 14-13, lost to Marshall 42-28. Yeah, they give up a lot of points. So not a very good defense, a 30 defense. So that's our bitch. But we don't really yet. Maybe Delaware and Missouri State. They don't even play. Oh, they're at Kansas. They'll get beat by 60 points there. New Mexico State, Sanchez, 7-17 in 2 years, 27-50. This coach just sucks. New Mexico State, 21 and a 27 defense. I got them as a W. They're probably going to be a Z team. They open at Florida State, at Hawaii, New Mexico, and then the conference last year. Lost to Lutech 49-14. New Mexico got them. Liberty got them. Tennessee 42-9. If New Mexico State can get its pass rush right, this defense could finish in the upper third if they get their pass rush. But the Aggies are looking for a new starting quarterback for the third straight year. It is fair to say New Mexico State's bowl hopes. They got to win 5 games, bowl hopes. So they stunk. I got them as a W. And Sam Houston is terrible. They are a Z team. It was a steep drop from a 10-win season. Well, that's because their coach left, which is why we look at coaches in 24. The last year they won 2 games. Somehow they beat Delaware 26-20, and they beat Oregon State. It's crazy. The deck was stacked against this squad last year. Sam Houston played its entire season at a different, because their stadium was under construction. Quarterback play could be the biggest positive, but continuing also extends to the coaching staff, which returns intact. Who cares? Landry Locke, who was 4 touchdowns, 4 picks, is the quarterback. They open at Troy, and then they got to play at Texas Tech. Last year, they lost to Vegas 38-21, Hawaii 37-20, and at Texas 55-0. And that's where you make your money, is the at Texas games. All right, that is that. So I try to give you a blend of Gray Sports Almanac and then my stats on the thing. All right, so let's go to the MAC. And the MAC. Best quarterback in the MAC, Brock Lowry, Western Michigan, and Noah Kim, Eastern Michigan. Noah Kim, another Michigan State guy who sucks at Michigan State. There's 13 teams in the MAC. New team, Sacramento State from Division II. So we start Western Michigan. So this is 1 to 13. The best team, Western Michigan. Toledo, who's always good. Miami of Ohio. Central Michigan, Ohio. Buffalo, Eastern Michigan, Sacramento State, Ball State, Kent State, Bowling Green. Akron, who's always sucks. UMass, who always sucks. Kent State, who's pretty bad. So normally Kent State and Akron suck. And now we got UMass, who's not even a Division I team. They are, but they really shouldn't be. Western stability at quarterback, running back, and head coach should equal another title. Toledo. Not much there. Miami of Ohio, Chuck Martin is the program humming. So good coach. Central offense is experienced and features playmakers. So Central, look for them over. Ohio, Coach John Hauser has the interim tag, pulled after a bowl victory. Does the other team actually play in the bowl victory? Don't they all get ready for the pros? Buffalo, the program is flush with resources compared to some other schools. Eastern, Noah Kim from Michigan State. Sacramento State. Hornets have solid fan base. Oh, well, that's important. Maybe some of that California talent on the roster. again, you're going to have Sacramento State play in the MAC. So half their games are going to travel to the Big Ten area, right? Ball State experienced O-line should help. Yeah, really. Kent State quarterback Drew DeShields and top wide receiver Wayne Harris. The Bowling Green, the Bowlers. Mark Roth is going to coach that team. Quality wins over Toledo and Liberty last year should show good things under Eddie George. I assume the Ohio State running back. Akron, the Zips can ride 1,000-yard rusher Jordan Gant until the quarterback emerges. Another Z team. And UMass, there's been an upgrade at several spots, so basically they suck. All right, let's go to my spreadsheet. And we're looking at the MAC. And the MAC. I got Toledo. This is last year, 31-12. Richter is the new quarterback. Jacobs is the new coach. Ohio, 28-22. Paulus, I wonder if he's related to Ron Paulus from Notre Dame, is the new quarterback. And Hauser from Total Recall will be the coach. Miami of Ohio, 25-22. Gotkowski, the quarterback, played a little, 4-0. Touchdowns, interceptions. Eastern Michigan, 24-29. Noah Kim, Michigan State, 18 touchdowns, 11 picks, just like he was at Michigan State. Buffalo, 24-24. Wright's the new quarterback there. Central Michigan, 23-22. Now they're expecting them to score more. Flores is the new quarterback. Western Michigan, the team they have is the number one, 23-18. Good defense. Brock Lowry, 7-2. So I don't know why he's all that. Let's see, were they able to run the ball? Yeah, 200 yards rushing, so pretty good running. Akron, the Z team, 22 points, give up 27. Rogo is the quarterback. Kent State, 21-33, the Z team. Drew DeShields, 18 touchdowns, 3 picks. Not bad. Keep an eye on, what is this, Kent State. They might be an over team this year because their defense hasn't getting any better. Bowling Green, an under team, 20 points a game, give up 24. Kistanian is the new quarterback. Ball State, a W team, 15 points, give up 29. Mazzelli, UMass, the Z team, score 11, give up 38. The true Z team. Grant Jordan was the quarterback last year, or Watson. And then Sacramento State, I have no idea. In the Big Sky, I have no idea about anything. I don't have points. I don't have a quarterback. And we will see what the Gray Sports Almanac has to say. So the best team, Toledo. So Toledo with the 12 defense. You had Western with an 18 defense. Otherwise, you had Toledo, the only team to get 31 a game. Ohio, 28. And then you've got Bowling Green scoring 20, Ball State 15, Mass 11, and then go the other way. Akron gave up 27, Kent 33, Bowling Green 24, Ball State 29, and UMass 38. So Kent and UMass were the Z teams, and then you had Ball State, who was a W, scoring giving up 29. And Eastern Michigan gave up 29, scored 25. All right. To the Almanac. All right, we start with Western Michigan. I assume a lot of you are watching golf. Is that why I don't have any of my visitors? Lance Taylor, 20-19, 3 years. Quarterback Brock Lowry, we went through his stats. They open at Michigan, have a Rice, and have a Boise State. Very tough. The Broncos opened last season with 3 non-conference losses. Then just one more game. Program rose. They earned head coach Lance Taylor a contract extension. Broncos begin the season with Michigan, and they have a rare home non-conference tilt against Boise. Program looks well positioned to repeat as conference champions. So we'll keep an eye on Western. They have a junior quarterback. He didn't do all that last year, so we'll see how he is this year. Pretty good coach. Toledo is always very good in this conference. It's a new era at Toledo following the departure of head coach Jeff Candle, who in his 10 seasons at the helm built Toledo into the MAC's most consistently good program and became Toledo's all-time win leader before departing for UConn. Let me mark that down. So let me go to UConn. Candle. So I like noting where the coach or the quarterback was from. So he was very successful at Toledo, so I'm thinking UConn will be in good hands there. Richter, the new quarterback for Toledo. Toledo figures to score plenty of points despite the transition to head coach Mike Jacobs and newcomers at skill positions. He's from Mercer, who also scored a ton of points. So Toledo should score a ton. Richter. Who's Richter? Doesn't real. Quarterback John Richter will get his chance to step into the full-time role. Richter played in 3 games last year before getting injured. So he was from Toledo. They scored 30, gave up 13. So they start with Michigan State, which they can beat, and San Diego State. That's a good game. I think they played them last year. No, they didn't. And then it's MAC. At Kentucky, they lost 24-16. So they're a very good team, Toledo. Washington State, they lost 28-7, which was unusual. They lost to Louisville in the bowl game 27-22. So this is a very good team, Toledo. You don't want to bet against them in conference for sure. Miami of Ohio, Thomas Gotkowski, sophomore quarterback. Coach Chuck Martin, been there 12 years, 23-21, so good defense. They open at Pitt, then at Cincinnati, UConn, and then the conference. They lost to Wisconsin 17-0 last year, Vegas 41-38, and lost to Fresno State in the bowl game. Miami coach Martin is finally reaping the benefits of sticking through some rough early days, just like Joe Novick did at Northern Illinois when he had a .334 record and turned the program into a mid-major powerhouse for a decade plus. So you got to get your players, and then there's injuries. So if you don't get good players and they're injured, you look like a bad coach, then everybody plays. During the offseason, Martin received an influx of money to add premier players to his roster or retain key players. The Redhawks have become a consistent power. So look for Miami of Ohio. Just hope they don't have to play Miami of Florida. So they play at Pitt. This can be a competitive game, although their quarterback's a sophomore. Played in 5 games last year, started 3, including the MAC championship and the Fresno State. They lost the MAC championship 23-13 and Fresno State 18-3, so not sold on that. Central Michigan, Angel Flores is the new quarterback. He's a senior. Flores alternated a quarterback with Joe Labas last year, was the team's leading rusher before missing the last four with an injury. Yeah, you got to stop running at the quarterback. The coach, Matt Drunkel, 7-8 in 1 year. 22, gave up 23, which isn't bad. Flores is a senior quarterback. Supposed to be more of an offensive team this year. They open at New Mexico, Colgate, Wyoming, at Miami of Florida. Good luck there, fellas. And then at Ohio, Miami of Ohio, tough games. And we'll have to figure out the Sacramento State team. They lost to Pitt last year, 45-17, at Michigan, 63-3. Ouch. So this year they're at Miami, and then the conference at New Mexico, Colgate, Crest, and Wyoming. I wonder why they play Colgate and not Crest, these teams. Ohio, Nick Polis, the senior quarterback, is durable and strong. Well, that tells me how bad he is. So he's not very good. He just had 8 passes. He impressed the coaching staff in the spring. That's not the same. 27 and gave up 21. Ohio's pretty good. Hauser, the coach at Ohio and overall, he's 1-0. So we got a new coach at Ohio from Total Recall, Hauser. We got Richter and Hauser in here. We got the whole Total Recall staff. All they need is Benny. He can pull his hand out. They open at Nebraska. You got a new coach and a terrible quarterback. We'll circle Nebraska here. Jacksonville State, South Alabama. And they're playing Stonehill. What the fuck is that? Central and and the MAC teams. They lost to Rutgers 34-31. They beat West Virginia last year, and then they lost 37-9 to Ohio State. Man, what are they playing those teams for? So at Nebraska, and that's it. So it's a good starting point. I think they'll get killed there, but because you got a new coach and a new quarterback. The Buffalo Bills, they spelled Bills wrong. They call them the Bulls. Jason Wright, a freshman. Ooh, we love betting against freshmen. Pete Lambeau at Buffalo, 14-11. 128, 76, and 17 years. He's one of these Division II guys, Wisconsin Whitewater or something like that. So they got a quarterback problem. This Wright's a freshman, but he's not great. They scored 24 game, give up 24. Last year was a disappointing season for Buffalo, which returned a good core of players from a 9-win team led by Murdoch, but Buffalo never could put things together. In order to rectify that and return to postseason play, Buffalo is going to need a starting quarterback to emerge and a roster with 31 new players to come together. The schedule will be challenging, giving Buffalo will play 4 of the top 5 finishers in the MAC last season. Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio, Toledo, and Central. They open up at Albany, then Florida International, and then they go to Penn State, and then Robert Morris. I think we'll call him Bob Morris. Last year at Minnesota, lost 23-10, beat Troy, and that was it. So pretty weak schedule. I don't know. We'll see. Lambeau doesn't seem to be that good. Well, he's a good coach, Division II, so he could be all right. Eastern Michigan, Noah Kim, Michigan State is the quarterback. The coach, Chris Creighton, 61-84 in 11 years there. So, all right, so decent coach. Eastern's usually a pretty good defensive team. Not last year, scored 24, gave up 29. Overview, stability and culture are 2 of the main themes. Chris Creighton era, even after 4-8 record last season, the Eagles returned a good portion of their starters. Yeah, nobody wanted them. They were 4-8. Have stability at quarterback for the first time since Brogan Roback was under center. So we'll see. They open at Sacramento State, which is now a conference game. San Jose State, Michigan State at Wisconsin. Last year, they got killed by Texas State. They lost to the Long Island Iced Teas. That's crazy. They lost to Kentucky. They beat Lou Lafayette. And that's it. So 24-30, not very good team. Sacramento State. Let's read this team. Alonzo Carter, first year coach. He's our bitch. They scored, they had a coach last year, Marion. They scored 33 a game. He exited after just 1 year to guide the offense at Colorado. So the guy's the head coach. He's an offensive guy. He goes to Colorado. With Marion's quick departure, Sacramento's turned to a new head coach with strong ties to Northern California. Track record of building an unlikely winner in the area, Alonzo Carter. The Oakland native. Oh, well, he's an Oakland guy. Maybe he knows Al Davis. Spent almost a decade with current Arizona head coach Brent Brennan, helping build longtime cellar dweller San Jose State into a consistent bowl game participant. Big deal. So he's coming from San Jose State. Does that make us like go, oh, well? Let's see. Quarterback Carson Conklin is a Fresno State transfer. All right. Does that make us warm and fuzzy? Overview. Sacramento State's goal, moving to the FBC, comes with some serious challenges, including geographical. The uptick in competitive. Why didn't they just go to the Mountain West? The uptick in competitive level for the program in general and the miles the Hornets will log as a regional outsider in the MAC makes 2016 a learning experience. They did average 33 points a game and gave up 26, so they were an over Division II. They did play Nevada, lost 20-17 last year, and that was it. They pounded Portland State 52-24, and they lost to UC Davis. What are you going to do? This year they start with Eastern Michigan, Fresno State, North Dakota State, and then the conference. They do play Ohio, Toledo, Central, and they finish at Hawaii. We'll keep an eye on them. So the coach is basically from Fresno State, and we will see. They should be a high-scoring team with probably shitty defense. Ball State. The coach is there, Yermovitz, 4-8 the first year, 60-64 in 11 years. Tyler Mazzell, a junior quarterback. He was at Butler. So Tyler Mazzell is a Division II guy. So Ball State's in big trouble quarterback-wise. They lost to Purdue last year, 31-0. Auburn 42-3. Connecticut 31-25. Miami of Ohio 45-24. And, they open against Ohio State. So let me put this in the notes. Ball State. I got them Division II. Good luck playing Ohio State. That's all I can say. They open at Ohio State. What are they, 50-point dogs? I'll have to check the line. Then Stony Brook. That's who they should open with. At Liberty, at Kent State, and then they got an at Northwestern. This team's gonna suck. They scored 15 a game, gave up 30. I don't see it getting any better. Kent State, the Golden Flashes. Oh, look at the new helmet. They look like the San Diego Chargers. I love that. Maybe they'll be the San Diego Chargers. Maybe they'll switch. Drew DeSeals, not a bad quarterback. Mike Kearney, 5-7 1 year. Again, a weak coach. What we're finding is there's not a lot of good coaches in college football or pro football for that matter. And then it's all these coordinators, So we're trying to figure that mess out. And we got to see. Rebuilding finally took a step forward in 25. Despite the April firing of Coach Kenny Burns, the Golden Flashes overcame adversity and uphill by winning 4 games. Wow, they're the team. Second year, Mark Carney is taking positive steps, building new program from the bottom up. So basically, they're going to suck again. They scored 21, gave up 33. Last year, they played Texas Tech for some reason, lost 62-14, lost to Buffalo, and Florida State 66-10. This is the Z team. Here they start at South Carolina, and they're going to get killed there. This could be our first lock. South Carolina's got the new offensive coordinator, Bryles, who is from Baylor, who look out. And then, Wolford, and then, they're at Ohio State. Another 60-0 game, especially this is the week after Texas. If Ohio State loses to Texas, this game's going to be 99-0 Ohio State. So keep that in mind. This will be a major lock if they lose to Texas. They beat Texas, they might be a little flat. But if they lose to Texas, Katie bar the door, as Keith Jackson would say. So we'll keep that in mind. The 62-14 Texas Tech game will repeat itself. Not a very good team, Kent State. Bowling Green and the Mark Ross, they bring bowling balls to the games. Jay Castino, Falcons quarterback room had 4 variable candidates seeking the starting job. Yeah, and Jay Castanon is favorite from Assumption College. Oh my God, they're in big trouble. The bowling, they got to stick to bowling where the guy can have a 220 average. These quarterbacks suck. The quarterback Eddie George, Bowling Green, 4-8 1 year overall, 28-30. Is this the running back? Maybe. Scored 18, give up 24. They lost to Cincinnati, 34-20. Lost at Louisville, 40-17. And then the MAC this year, Tarleton State. They opened, then at Nebraska. And they get a break at Iowa State, who we don't know who they are, and South Florida. And then they go to Miami of Ohio, which is not a breather, and at Toledo later. So, at Nebraska, at Iowa State, that's 2 losses. Not a good quarterback is trouble. You want a really good quarterback. I think he beat out Joe and Bob, and you're like, Akron, the Z team of Z teams, scored 22, give up 27. In early March, the Zips received a waiver from the NCAA that will allow them to be eligible for the postseason. Yeah. Oh, okay. In 2025, Akron was ineligible because the program's multi-year academic process rate score was below the minimum for postseason eligibility. The punishment also includes being limited to 16 practice hours instead of 20. Coach Joe Moorhead did a stellar job leading the downtrodden program to 5 wins last season. Who the hell did they beat? Oh, they beat Duquesne, Central, at Buffalo, UMass, and Bowling Green. So they beat the 2 Z teams, UMass. They are Akron. They couldn't play themselves. They beat Central. UMass sucked. At Buffalo is a good win. Bowling Green. So they're getting a little better. They open at Wake Forest. They got at Minnesota and Vegas. We got to do Vegas because Vegas keeps coming up in the schedule, and I have no idea who Vegas is this year yet until we read it, which we will do tomorrow, as they are Mountain West and Sun Belt. That'll be exciting tomorrow. The MAC, the MAC gets picked, so all the Big Ten teams take the MAC good players, and so they're always getting these, weak players. Once in a while, you get a Ben Roethlisberger, a Jack Lambert. They do exist, but now they get picked. So Michigan State, hey, this guy's pretty good, and Purdue, Illinois, Indiana, 22-27. So Akron's there, and then the worst team, and the team rank is 138. UMass score 11 a game, give up 38. Pop Watson the third. Come on, the junior quarterback. The Minutemen scored 15 touchdowns for the whole year. Head coach Joe tabbed Max Warner to lead the rebuild, a coach who brings winning credentials in the MAC from his time at Bowling Ball Green. Starting at quarterback with William Pop Watson III. Watson, a Mass native, showed promise mostly as a reserve at Virginia Tech. Couldn't even start at Virginia Tech. All right, they score 11, give up 38. They open at Rutgers, Sacred Hall, and Stonehill, Division II teams. At Sacramento State, basically Division II, and then they get the conference. So UMass really with a very weak schedule. And then we will go to the Mountain West tomorrow. And New Mexico is the number one pick there. Unusual. All right, there's a video I want to show you. So that is the MAC. It's it's hard because you get new coaches, you get these quarterbacks who are reserves at these other schools. So you can't. You don't have the Joe Montanas and the Tom Brady's. You got the Bill Montanas and the Fred Brady's. And you really don't know how they're going to do or how good their defense and how good the coach is. And so you have to let it play out a little bit. It's like these new pitchers of the bullpen games where we're like, what do we do here? So we'll have to look at that. All right. I hate these like texts. Oh, a roof estimate for my house that I don't own. I love those. Why do they still think I own a house I rented 10 years ago when I lived at my brother's? All right. Your free picks in baseball again. Pitt over 7, Boston 2 unit, and the Phillies with Jesus pitching 3 units. All right. I shared with you Mark McGuire yesterday, and I'm going to show a quick Egon, quickie.
There's been a deficit of physical silver for the last, I think, 7 years. Deficit is only made up by temporarily covering it in the futures market, and that cannot last either. At some point, silver will explode. It did initially $30 go up to $110, $15, and then they managed to slam it down again. I think the next move is probably not far away. I think it's probably one of the best speculative wealth preservation investments that you can make now, but I wouldn't put the house on that because I said wealth preservation means that you hold a more stable asset like gold. There have been a deficit of physical silver for the last.
All right. All right. So I don't know if anybody knows this girl. She's a fucking moron. All right. So she says there's a paper price and a physical price. When did we get a physical price of gold and silver? I don't recall that we have one. I don't know what she's talking about. And
make this one 15-second adjustment near your breaker panel tonight and watch what happens to your electric bill. By your next billing cycle, it could drop almost in half. Here's exactly what it does. There are two gold prices.
All right, here's my comments. Well, it's here somewhere. Okay, here's my comment, and then we will watch the video. The girl is clueless. There's only a paper price. There is no physical price. You need to stay out of her as it's worthless and a Ponzi scheme. I think she's on drugs. She says things that are fairy tales. ETFs are Ponzi schemes. There's no physical hold in them. Just buy physical. They can't inflate it. Options and derivatives are scams manipulated to keep the paper price down. That's the only purpose. The professor. Okay. My 2 cents. All right. And I'm going to pause this when I'm going to counter this. So
this is right now. And most investors, there are two gold prices right now. And most investors are watching the wrong one. Silver closed at $57.11 on Wednesday, more than 50% below its January high. Gold at $4,044 an ounce, nearly 24% below its own January record. So anyone watching a trading screen could easily assume that enthusiasm for precious metals has completely evaporated, and that the numbers simply show falling demand, abundant supply. But that's not what the screen is actually measuring. The headline price is just the cost of financial exposure to gold and silver, changing hands in an enormous global derivatives market. Gold trading averaged around $361 billion a day last year. In the first half of this year, it climbed closer to $488 billion. Now, that's $361 billion isn't literally missing physical metal. It's just a reflection of the massive financial market that sits atop of the physical one. So what the screen can't tell you is how easily you can get hold of a specific coin or a bar or a quantity of metal delivered to a specific place with secure allocated ownership. Now, normally those two prices, they stay close, but that doesn't mean that they're the same. And right now, the gap between the speed of the digital market and the reality of the physical one, that is getting harder to ignore. So when we talk about the gold market, what is the gold market? Well, analysts quote hundreds of billions in daily volume, and they're talking about a massive mix of futures, options, ETFs, and unallocated accounts. So these are paper positions. They're dominated in gold, but they don't mean that there's a specific stamped bar in a vault with someone's name on it. But these tools, they serve real purposes. Futures let miners hedge their risk. There are ETFs giving retail investors easy price exposure without the hassle of private storage, and unallocated accounts, which make up over 90% of the clearing volume in London, that allows banks to settle massive trades instantly on their books. So it's highly efficient, and it's why the global bullion system usually works.
what is she talking about? There is no physical market. These are simply paper, and the design is to price fix. That's what COMEX is. I don't know what you say. ETFs are a Ponzi scheme. There's no gold in the ETFs. If you're in an ETF, you go, I want my gold. You're not going to get any. These are all taken by the options by JP Morgan to deliberately keep the price low. What is she talking about? There is no physical price. These serve no purpose but to keep the price low, to keep the dollar, so everybody's in dollars and in the stock market and they make their commission. So I don't really know what the hell she's talking about.
So smoothly. But efficiency doesn't necessarily mean it's about safety. And the whole structure relies on an assumption that very rarely people stop and take a moment to examine. The assumption is that almost everyone will keep settling these contracts in cash or rolling them forward, and they won't ask for the metal. And normally they don't, which is why nobody really gives it any thought. But
that's a lie, because that's all China's and Russia's been doing is settling and asking for delivery. And all the delivery, and that's what they keep talking about, is how much gold is leaving COMEX, how much physical they're asking for delivery. So yes, this is the Ponzi scheme. Nobody asked for delivery. And that's the paper, and we'll lower the paper price, and we'll make money on the options. That's all it is. It's a Ponzi scheme. So I don't know what she's talking about here. They are asking for delivery, and that's what the problem is. And COMEX is blowing up, and everybody wants a physical price, which we don't have. So I don't know what is she? She's delusional.
This isn't any kind of conspiracy theory. There's plenty of real gold in the world. The issue is simply that a massive financial market relies on a tiny, highly responsive layer of physical supply to keep the paper prices and physical bars aligned. But usually, that doesn't mean it's
aligned. What is the physical price? What are you talking about? There is no physical price. Aligned with what? The physical is using the paper to price things. There is no physical price. So what does she mean aligned? I don't get it.
Guarantee, of course. And there was a moment recently when we saw that alignment break. So back in March 2020, refineries in Switzerland, they shut down and flights were grounded, transport networks collapsed. And at the same time, the premium to buy physical gold in New York, that surged to over London spot prices to levels that we hadn't seen in decades. Now, that didn't happen because gold has suddenly disappeared. It happened because the logistics that get New York futures to London wholesale bullion, they broke down. Now, New York, as we've talked about before, they trade 100-ounce bars. London trades 400-ounce bars. Normally, banks, refiners, they seamlessly find a way to bridge that gap. But with the Swiss refineries closed, the bridge was gone. The gold was there, just wasn't in the right form, in the right place, at the right time, at the time required. Anyone who actually needed physical delivery in New York, they had to pay a massive premium and wait weeks. This was about a crisis of logistics and speed. And then if you go forward and you look back to early 2024, there was a completely different kind of disconnect. It wasn't a breakdown of logistics per se, but a massive geographical split. This was when Western investors were aggressively selling paper gold. They were driving month after month of heavy outflows from Western gold ETFs.
According to these two investment legends who picked NVIDIA 10 years ago, Elon Musk is
on Western gold ETFs. Why? Well, because the East was buying every physical ounce that they could lay their hands on. Now, central banks, led by the PBOC, they were aggressively buying physical bullion to diversify away from the US dollar. And at the same time, Chinese retail buyers who were looking to escape a troubled domestic real estate market, well, they were withdrawing record amounts of physical gold from the Shanghai Gold Exchange. These two events show us that the two ways that the system can be strained. In both of these cases, a lot of people think about paper to physical risk is a question about quantity, that we are running out of bars. But the reality is, it's just about the mechanics. If you think about the physical steps, the futures price, the wholesale spot market, the large bars, the refining, the minting of smaller coins, the logistics, the shipping, secure vaulting, every single step that takes physical time. A miner cannot dig.
The fuck is she talking about? The paper is to keep the price down. So they don't want you to leave dollars for gold. It's a psychological thing. It's a whole setup. It's a Ponzi scheme. JP Morgan is shorting that. It's got nothing to do with the cost of producing the gold or the silver. It's there. It's all strictly the bars are there and the coins are there, and all it is they're keeping the price down, and people are asking for delivery. So I'm totally lost by what she's trying to say, and I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck does she mean? There's a paper and a physical price. Where's the physical price? You can't say the paper price is the physical price.
Faster because an algorithm solves silver down. Just like a refinery, it can't instantly suddenly stamp out and refine thousands of 1-ounce coins. Just like a logistics company can't just work out a way to teleport gold across a continent. So the screen might be moving in milliseconds in front of you, but that doesn't mean that the supply chain can as well. So when the paper market moves sharply, the physical side lags behind, and in that gap, you face a basis risk. The reality. What physical side? What is she talking about? There is no physical price. I don't know. Is she saying, well, the physical price, this and that? What are you talking about? The price on your screen isn't the price you'll actually pay to get your hands on the metal. Right now, COMEX has about 14.8 million ounces of registered gold, 23 million ounces total. That is a lot of physical metal, but it's tiny compared to hundreds of billions in daily paper trading. Again, doesn't mean that the system is a fraud. It just means that it's built on the assumption that nearly everyone wants paper exposure, not physical delivery.
It is a fraud. It is a Ponzi scheme. They are keeping the price down because they're doing options on gold that doesn't exist. I hate when they say ounces instead of tons. There's 4.3 million tons of gold versus 200,000 tons of physical gold, 400.3 million tons of paper gold. So what do you think that is? That is keeping the price down. It's not a real price, and there is no physical price. There's no price on the 220,000 tons of gold, of physical gold. There's no price for that.
So when you say that you own gold, you have to ask yourself, what does it actually mean? And it depends entirely on where you sit in that chain. It's a question that most investors don't ever think they're going to have to ask themselves. So what exactly do you own? If you buy a physically backed ETF, the trust holds real allocated bars, but you own shares in a fund.
If you have an ETF, you don't have any physical gold, period. What the fuck's you talking about?
You can't just drive to the vault, hello, and ask for your bar. It's a highly liquid security, but it's still inside the financial system. Now, an unallocated bank account, that's a different story because you don't own specific bars. You hold a claim against the bank. If that institution runs into trouble, you're just using another unsecured creditor in line. A futures contract, that's just an agreement to buy or sell down the road. It's not ownership of the gold today. So direct allocated ownership, that is different. And that is where specific serial but numbered bars or coins are held directly in your name. It's about your personal property that's completely off the balance sheet of any bank or broker. So they all track the same price on the screen, but they give you entirely different legal rights. They will not behave the same way under stress. This is not about saying ETFs are bad or futures are useless, because they do all have a purpose. The risk is
they all bad and they are useless, and we don't have a physical price of our physical gold. There is no price. What is she talking about? I hate these idiots.
Find one while you believe you own the other. And with silver, these dynamics get even tighter. Of course, silver compresses all of these pressures and adds two major complications of its own. First, silver, that's a critical industrial commodity. We talked about before, it comes down to solar manufacturing,
Still physical.
tech companies, manufacturers, they don't care about market sentiment or Fed policy. If they have a factory schedule to meet, if they need physical silver right now delivered to their door, demand for a period of time is inelastic. Over 70% of silver, that's mined as a byproduct. So if silver prices surge, mining companies, they can't just easily increase production because they're bound by the economics of the base metals that they're actually digging for. So the physical supply literally cannot react quickly to price signals. Meanwhile, COMEX has about 95 million ounces of registered silver, and global demand runs at about 1.2 billion ounces a year. So that means deliverable exchange inventory represents less than 30 days of global consumption. We're not running out of silver tomorrow, but the physical buffer, that is incredibly thin. Paper silver can be created or sold at just the press of a button. But physical silver takes heavy machinery, takes loads of fuel, months of shipping. And when industrial and investment demand collide, that paper to physical gap, that can snap quickly. So what's the takeaway here? The way you hold your metals, that is just as important as why you bought them. Futures, they're giving you leverage. ETFs, they're giving you quick, liquid exposure. Unallocated accounts give you a claim. Direct allocated ownership, that gives you physical property outside of the financial system. Like I said, each of them does a job, but they don't offer necessarily the same safety net. 2020 showed us what happens when the pipes get clogged. Gold's there, physical machinery broke. The paper price adjusted instantly, but the physical market lagged. Now that 360.
What physical market is she talking about? There is no physical price. So she's talking about physical. It has got nothing to do with COMEX. COMEX is options, derivatives. That's it. And they short it, and the price goes down. They ask for the whatchamacallit, they do the margin calls, knocks the price down. That's it. That's the job of COMEX, is to knock the price down. Period. It's to keep you in the stock market, to keep you into the banks, to keep you in paper bullshit. So you're in this, not in gold, because we can't track you in gold. You don't pay taxes on gold. But if you're in the stock market, an ETF, or if you're in a Bitcoin, or you're in stocks and bonds in the U.S. and in the banks, then we tax you on that. And that's the whole point. I don't know what she's talking about. Where is this physical price she's talking about? Gold versus physical, gold versus silver. paper versus physical. The gap. What is she talking about? First of all, there's 75 million tons of silver traded, and there's only 1 million tons of physical silver. What is she talking about? So where are they coming up with the 75 trillion tons? What is this? What is she even? Nothing makes sense what she's talking about. So I just wanted to show you that because you got idiots who, there's paper and physical. There is no physical price. You should know that by listening to me, but there isn't any. There just isn't a physical price. Where is it? Comex? It's a paper price. It's not a physical. So there is no physical price. That's what we're waiting for from China this Friday to get a physical price on gold and silver. That's what we're waiting for. Not this paper price, and then they got to deliver, and there's a delivery thing from paper to no. There is no physical price of that. All right, just wanted to quickly. I was going to talk about yesterday, but we ran long. So we did the Conference USA and the MAC conference. Two conferences that are should be bet heavily. Once you understand the teams, there's a lot of weak teams in there we can bet against and make a lot of money, as opposed to betting Alabama and Georgia and Notre Dame and Ohio State every week. We're still going to bet them, but that's how we get so many games to pick. So if you got Z teams in Conference USA and Z teams in the MAC, we're going to bet those along with Ohio State and Michigan and Notre Dame and those. And that's the whole thing that makes time travel possible when I bet these games. Otherwise, your free pick in baseball, again, Pittsburgh over 7, Boston and Philadelphia with Jesus on the mound. Now I'm going to watch the British Open as they look like they're going on to the back nine. So enjoy the British Open, enjoy soccer tomorrow, although I'll be on in the morning. I don't know who's going to win. I don't care who's going to win in soccer. I'm not a soccer fan. I think it's a stupid game. Everybody's standing around, and you have these offsides, but it makes no, like in hockey, if I'm all alone and I got a breakaway, if I'm doing that in soccer, I'm offsides. What the fuck? It's a stupid game, stupid rules. Anyway, it is funny to see all these people so passionate about soccer because they got nothing else in their lives. It's crazy. But anyway, so that's what we got baseball back, and good luck on that. And as we get into tomorrow, college football will be the Mountain West and the Sun Belt, and we should be done. And then we'll kind of recap the whole top and bottoms and top quarterbacks, weak quarterbacks, things like that. Keeping an eye on the new coaches and the new quarterbacks and how good they are so we can prepare the team. Oh, this guy stinks. Coach stinks. Oh, okay, we're betting against them because a bad coach, the team sucks, they're going to lose. And it's as simple as that. So not a lot of chats today, but I don't know if you're watching golf or what's going on. There is still the smoke thing here, but I think it's getting better in Michigan from Canada. And that's it. So have a wonderful day, www.teaserking.com. We hope these wars end very soon, but I think these countries are broke, bankrupt, the U.S., Europe, England, and so they want to keep the war going on because they're trying to steal the oil and gold from Russia and Iran. And that's pure and simple what's the truth of what's really going on. So hopefully these end soon and we don't run out of oil and we don't run out of food. All this other crap that these guys, these idiots are doing. Well, Trump doesn't want to look bad when he's in office and we're bankrupt. So he can't say we're bankrupt. So he'll go to war to keep your mind. It's sort of like what the Romans did. They had the gladiator games to keep your mind off the fact that Rome was bankrupt. All right. Well, have a good day. Let's go watch some golf and we'll watch a little bit more football. I got to read my Gray Sports Almanac. All right. Well, take care, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend.